Hey, Wingnut here. I just wanted to let you know on my lunch. What's coming next for LadderCast? We did one show, a little rough, but I just wanted to give you a sneak peek of the new overlays and new look for LadderCast. So, enjoy.
Hello and welcome to episode 1 of LadderCast, featuring me, Wingnut, and Nick Gallagher, who is on that side.
Hey there.
We
How's it
are
going?
starting with episode 1, and Nick, why don't you tell us and all of our friendly viewers out there what we're going to be talking about today?
All right. Well, as Aaron said, this is LadderCast. We are here casting games that were actually played on the ladder by people we don't know. We picked up replays, and these are not Grandmaster level. These are not pro gamer level. These are average Joes just playing to have fun. We've got lined up for today a Protoss versus Zerg from the Platinum League, and it should be a good matchup. It's an interesting matchup, I think, in general.
It's obviously our favorite matchup to play.
Obviously, but typically not versus each other. But
I suppose I should mention, since I failed to introduce ourselves correctly, I am a Platinum level Protoss player, and Nick there is a high level Gold Zerg player.
that is correct. Very average.
Our goal is obviously to cover games from a different perspective than maybe some of the professionals. Since the mid-range is the most populous range on Battle.net, we figure maybe that will be a good perspective to look at some games from. So we're going to go ahead and jump into this game. I'm going to do a 3-2-1 start if you're ready, Gallagher.
That is correct.
3,
I'm ready.
2, 1, and play.
All right. So in the top right, we have spawning our Zerg player. Is A.A. Kragus, as I'm going to pronounce it. And Aaron, why don't you go ahead and introduce our Protoss?
And we've got our Protoss person who has a name that's kind of difficult. Denlakaman.
That's how I would pronounce it
He's
myself.
going to be at the 95 position as the blue Protoss.
So far we got, what you would expect to see. Drones
The
being made,
Zerg
scouting
player
being
is,
done.
of course, sending his nice overlord to the closest position, which is the easiest to scout for the Zerg. There can only be 2 spawns, as you know, or may not know on this map. It's the close by air position and the exactly opposite position. Looks like our Protoss is gearing up for a Forge Fast Expand with that early pylon out front by his natural.
I'm not crazy about the placement of that pylon. I feel like it could be placed a little bit closer up so that you could get a building to cover that ramp a little bit more.
And it looks like it's a little more than a 6-block square for a forge. We'll see what he ends up throwing down there. Looks like both players are throwing out around the 12 or 10 scout. Protoss went a little earlier because he's probably concerned about that 6 pool.
Yep. That is not there.
Wow, I am not a fan of this forge placement. I have no words. It doesn't block anything.
Well, it does actually. I was watching his drone when he came into scout. He was not able to get in between the forge and the ramp there.
There's Zergi's going for a 14 expand, it looks like. No gas yet.
That's correct. They both still got scouts in the opposite space. It looks like Protoss is trying to figure out when that pool's going to go down.
He is definitely... Oh, now he's just rallying his probe. Before that, he was just clicking around, which is...
Yeah, it looked like Zerg tried to... jump out and grab him. Oh, look at this. So Protoss has walled in with pylons Zerg's ramp. Zerg's having a little bit of indecision there, trying to figure out, should I attack it, should I not?
So, Nick, you being the Zerg, what do you do in this position?
I panic, usually. I would immediately, now that I see that cannon's going down, I'm canceling that hatch, I'm moving that overlord, and I'm not going to even bother trying to
see,
kill
he's
the pilot.
quickly attacking each one of those pylons.
Right.
Useless.
Exactly. I do like this move. He moves his drone over to the natural third to plant down maybe another hatch there, but Protoss sees that coming a mile away, and he's going right up there to check out what's going on. Now, if you look back into Protoss's base, Zerg has decided that he's going to do a little bit of a counterattack
There's a base
here.
in his base.
There's a base in his base. And I think this is just absolutely brilliant. If you can't get out of your base, the next best thing to a Nidus Worm is actually a base in his base. He walks right up to the
If it would have, I understand.
or an all-in. Sure enough, Protoss.
Some energy.
I assume that's because he's trying to micro his roaches and keep buildings powered down, which he's done a fairly good job at.
I did just see it inject
there's
on
the
the
GG.
hatch in the main right before the GG, and which actually makes me mind for some reason to inject. That was definitely an interesting game. So, I mean, what do you do different? I mean, I guess obviously scout. It would have behooved the Protoss to scout the base in his base, but I'm just not sure exactly where you go with that.
I did like the split-second decision-making from our Zerg player. He sees his ramp completely blocked off. He sees that his attempt at going for his third base has already been scouted, and so he's not going to be able to get it up very easily. And so he's just like, well, I've got a drone in his base that's not been seen in 2 or 3 minutes. Why not just plop down a hatchery and go all in? And sure enough, Protoss wasn't prepared for it, and that won him the game.
That definitely seemed to work out for him. I was really surprised that, obviously the all-in with the roaches was really strong against nothing. But I was really surprised. I mean, I guess it doesn't surprise me because if we're thinking of it from, the level of the ladder that we're thinking of, that the Zerg really totally cut all of his macro, because if that would have went different, that Protoss would have acted a little bit wiser and handled that a little better. I think he could have thought a bit more, and he was in a really good position because he had a fully saturated base.
Absolutely. If he would have been able to take down that hatchery in his base, he would have been way, way ahead. Zerg, that was, like you said, it was an all-out, or an all-in. He had nothing to follow that up with. He's got 6 Zerglings that are slow in his base, and a Spine Crawler that's, working its way against pylons that are currently blocking it. But at the end of the game, he's not even got a fully saturated base at his...
And that's a quick look at what LadderCast is going to be like in the future, so tune in.